Absolutely. Lagos shimmered under a relentless sun, and the rooftop lounge in Lecky buzzed with low music, ice clinking in glasses, and the occasional click of iPhone cameras. Toke sat poolside like a queen on her throne, bronze legs crossed, sunglasses balancing on her contoured nose, and her edges laid to perfection. Thank you for joining. Feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Her assistant, Kimi, emerged breathless from the lift, clutching a gold envelope. Madam, Kimi said, holding the envelope like it contained secrets from the Vatican. This just arrived. From Maman Duca. Toke sat up straight, her eyes widening. Are you joking? Kimi grinned. See him now. Gold seal. VIP. Toke snatched the envelope and ripped it open with a flair of a Nollywood villainess. Inside was a thick cream card with gold foil lettering. You are cordially invited to Maman Duca's 25th Annual OMB Gala. Theme, Royalty in Lagos. Dress code, Asui by gold or nothing. Venue, Duca Mansion, Ikoyi. Strictly by invitation only. Toke screamed. I told you, she shrieked, drawing stairs from around the lounge. This is it. This is where I kill it. Kimi. Kimi laughed, clapping her hands. See, Gordo, all those Lecky wives will cry when they see you. Toke stood, the party ended in waves of praise, admiration, and
this
social
is more
media
than just a
fireworks.
party.
Guests
This is
posted
war.
selfies with a
I'm
marker.
about to make Lagos
Bloggers
forget
uploaded
there's even a
Gele
wife.
breakdowns.
I'll be
And
the
Twitter
only
was a
thing
flood of
people
memes
talk about till December.
When the wife doesn't raise her voice.
You're already
but
trending.
Lagos still listens.
Kimi said,
Opening
Toke
her
came
phone.
to slay.
Your
But a
last
market
photo
came
got
to stay.
6,500
Hash
likes in
Gele
2
over
hours.
glamour is a new aesthetic.
Toke smirked.
Toke
Toke sat in the back of a
Let me
G-Wagon,
go finish what the
removed her
internet
earrings
started.
in silence, and stared at her
2
phone.
days later,
Instagram,
Toke's penthouse in
14,000
Victoria Island
likes.
became a
But
design
not
studio.
one comment felt like
Jimmy,
victory.
she
She
shouted,
opened her notes
striding
app
in
and
with
typed.
3 bundles of
They
raw
love
gold
my
lace
sparkle.
fabric.
Until
I
she
want
walked
something
in
that
with
makes
silence.
people question if
Maybe
I'm
being
human.
loud was never the crown.
Her designer, a
Then,
flamboyant
she
stylist
posted it to
known
her
for dressing
IG story
Lagos
with a black
socialites.
screen.
Squinting
Kimi
the
watched from the
material.
front seat.
Are we
This is
going
loud.
loud?
No.
Exactly, Toke said.
I want drama.
Drive to the
I
mainland.
want volume.
I
I
need
want
to disappear for
royalty.
a bit. And give it a name.
The
Something
next
bold.
morning, a marker sat
Jimmy
on her
smirked.
veranda with a cup
Let's
of tea.
call it.
She was
the
dressed in
Queen
a
Killer.
simple wrapper and tee.
Yes.
Her Gele long removed.
Toke beamed.
But her spirit
Something that
still wore the
screamed,
crown.
I don't need
Chief
a ring to be
Afeni
worshipped.
approached her slowly.
You
She
didn't say
swirled
much
a glass
last
of
night,
sparkling wine,
he said quietly.
flipping her hair
Amaka
dramatically.
looked at him. Let me
I
tell
didn't
you why
need
this
to.
party is important.
I'm sorry.
Kimi
Kimi
and
and
Jimmy leaned in.
Everyone
She
knows
held
I'm
up
with
a
Chief
hand.
Afeni.
I'm not
She
asking
began.
for apologies.
They pretend
I'm
not
asking
to,
for space.
but they know.
Reflection.
The whispers,
Silence.
the blogs, the DMs.
He lowered his head.
I see it all.
Do you hate me?
Even
He
the
asked.
wife?
Amaka looked
Jimmy
out at
asked
the horizon.
carefully.
Calm.
Toke rolled her eyes.
I don't have space in my
That
heart
woman
for
is a
hate.
ghost.
Just
Quiet.
boundaries. Boring. He nodded
The kind
slowly.
of wife that wears
Then,
flats to weddings.
She smiled.
Flats.
I hope Lagos
Kimi
enjoyed the
cackled.
show.
But I didn't come to
continued.
perform.
This party is my
He looked
moment.
at her.
Really
when I
looked.
step into that mansion
And for the
wearing
first time in
Queen
years,
Killer,
we saw
Lagos
her
will
again.
witness a shift.
Amaka turned
The
back
real
to her
first
tea.
lady will be
because
me.
not all queens rule.
Be careful of
Some simply
Jimmy
exist.
murmured.
And the
Maman
world
Duca
adjusts.
doesn't like drama.
Toke scoffed.
She invited me, didn't she? She turned to the mirror and whispered, let's see if the wife even shows up.
Banana Island was serene that morning.
Birds chirped, leaves swayed lazily, and Amaka Afeni watered her bougainvillea in silence. She wore a soft ankle wrapper and a white blouse. No makeup, no noise, only peace. Her phone buzzed on the marble bench beside her. Ngozi, cousin calling. Amaka, good morning, Ngozi said without greeting.
I know that tone, Amaka replied. What's happening? Have you been online today? No. Well, maybe you should.
That girl your husband's been moving with, Toke, she's on IG Live planning to wear something called the Queen Killer to Maman Duca's gala.
Amaka didn't answer. They are calling her the real madam now. You know social media, N.A. Lagos people love noise.
She got an invite.
Amaka asked, voice calm.
Apparently VIP,
Ngozi whispered, and people are talking, saying you've gone cold. Quiet.
Amaka stood, wiping her hands on her wrapper. I've learned something, Enjo, she said.
What?
When rats dance on a lion's back, it's because they think the lion is dead. Ngozi sighed. So what now? I won't dance, Amaka said, but I'll roar when it matters. She ended the call and walked inside, straight to her closet. She stood there for a long time, staring at her old Gele boxes. The air in Suryalir was thick with smoke, sweat, and sound. Motorcycles whizzed past, Surya men shouted over grills, and the scent of roasted plantain filled the air. Amaka arrived at a tiny Gele shop hidden behind a pepper seller stall. A handwritten sign above read, Mama KS raps in glory, where silence speaks louder. Inside, a woman in her 60s tied Gele for a nervous bride-to-be. She looked up when Amaka entered. Amaka Ifini, she said, her voice rich with memory. It's been a while. Amaka smiled. I need your magic, Mama K. Mama K said, placing the last pin in the bride's head wrap. Sit. Talk to me. I want a Gele that doesn't shout, but when I enter, nobody else matters. Mama K stared at her long and hard. Not the usual kind, I see. No, Amaka said, this is not for celebration. It's for remembrance. I need to remind Lagos that silence is not weakness. Mama K chuckled. You want something regal, spiritual. Yes. She began pulling out fabric, golds, bronzes, copper tones so rich they seemed dipped in honey. Amaka's fingers brushed a deep, matte gold ass-oak lace with soft glittering stones. This one, she said. Mama K nodded. It has weight, dignity. Like you. Toke was trending again. Her photo shoot from the final dress fitting had gone viral. She posed on a marble staircase in a shimmering dress, one high slit, dramatic sleeves, and a plunging neckline. Her caption read, Every kingdom eventually gets a new queen crown sparkles #royalty in Lagos. She got 8,400 likes in under 2 hours, but not everyone was impressed. At Nigelo Vetuk, where's the real madam in all this? Or has she been evicted? At Oyen_Luxury, too much flesh, too little class. At Batik Gossip, can't wait to see what the wife wears, if she even comes. Toke screenshot the comments and laughed. Let them wait. I'm the headliner. Meanwhile, in Banana Island, Amaka was on her knees. The scent of anointing oil filled the room. Her prayer was not for revenge. It was for visibility, for dignity, for a voice that didn't have to scream. She opened her Bible and read aloud. Proverbs 31, verse 25. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. Her phone buzzed with a message from Obinna, her husband's cousin. Obinna, he's scared. He said you haven't spoken. Toke is everywhere. Please tell me you're coming. She replied with one line. When the true queen enters, there will be no need to announce her. Obinna stood at the entrance of Chief Ifini's walk-in closet, arms crossed, watching his cousin try on a third agbada for party. This one too white, Chief said, tossing the elaborate outfit onto the leather couch. People will think I'm attending a naming ceremony. Obinna sighed. An agbada, not bulletproof. What are you really scared of, fashion or fallout? Chief froze. What do you mean? Obinna chuckled bitterly. Toke is shouting online like she owns your last name. Meanwhile, your wife is so quiet I'm beginning to fear she's preparing something spiritual. Chief Ifini sighed. Obi, you know how Lagos is. Toke is fun. She makes noise. Amaka is different. Obinna raised an eyebrow. Different how? Composed. Classy. But sometimes I wonder if she's tired of me. No, Obinna said. She's not tired. She's watching. Chief rubbed his temples. This whole Maman Duka thing. I didn't think Toke would take it this far. Now it looks like she's trying to upstage Amaka. What if they both come? Obinna smirked. Then Lagos will finally learn what tension smells like. There was a moment of silence. Then Obinna added, if you have any sense left, you'll stop Toke from going. Chief looked down. She won't listen to me anymore. In a large villa in Ikoyi, Maman Duka adjusted her gold-framed glasses and read the list of confirmed VIPs for the event. Her personal assistant, Chika, stood beside her, anxiously waiting for a reaction. She frowned. Toke? As in Chief Feeney's side girl. Yes, ma, Chica replied nervously. She RSVP'd for VVIP. Maman Duca hissed. Who'll approve that nonsense? Chief must have added her directly. Ma. She's even coming with a full glam team, hair, makeup, camera crew. Maman Duca removed her glasses and closed her eyes for a moment. I've hosted 25 of these parties, she said. Never once have I let scandal enter through the front door. That girl is not society. She has fans, Chica mumbled. Maman Duca snapped her fingers. Lagos is too noisy. All these social media slay queens forget one thing. Class doesn't shout. It enters quietly and owns a room. Should we cancel her invite? Maman Duca thought about it. No, let her come. Chica looked shocked. She'll be humbled, especially if Amaka decides to show up. There's something terrifying about a woman who lets God do her fighting. She turned to the window, muttering to herself, let the music play. Let the masquerades dance. When the real queen steps in, even the drums will freeze. Toke stood before her mirror in a gold robe, her face already powdered, and her lashes so long they fluttered with every blink. Her glam team buzzed around like worker bees. Kimi, she said. Yes, ma. Give me the final rundown. Kimi pulled out her notepad. Arrival time, 6:40 p.m., just after the commissioner's wife. Security detail arranged. DJ has been tipped to play your custom entrance song. Good. Toke purred. Photographer will live stream from your IG. Hashtag is already trending. #Queen of Lagos. Toke smirked. Did Jimmy deliver the dress? Yes, ma. And the Gele. Toke interrupted. I told you already, I'm not tying that village wrapper. I want my hair flowing. Let them see every inch of me. Her stylist chuckled. You'll cause heart attacks tonight. Toke stood, slowly removing her robe. Beneath it was a masterpiece, the Queen Killer dress, a golden, fitted lace gown with crystals that shimmered under light. A thigh-high slit revealed her flawless legs. The neckline dipped dangerously. She examined herself from every angle. Let the wife wear her Gele. Let her come in all that tradition, she whispered. Me? I am the future. And Lagos doesn't wait for the past. The sun began to set over Lagos. Toke arrived fashionably late, 6:45 p.m., just as planned. The gates of the Nduka mansion opened slowly, revealing a long, red carpet flanked by photographers, bloggers, and influencers. Phones flashed, hashtags flew, voices rose. Who's that? Is that Toke? She's here. She stepped out of a champagne-colored G-Wagon, head held high, hips swaying like music. Her dress clung to her like power itself. Every bead sparkled. Her hair was slicked back. Her earrings were the size of lemons. Kimi followed behind, clutching her phone. Comments are exploding, she whispered. You're already on 3 blogs. Toke grinned. Good. Keep the camera steady. She walked in, each step sending waves of whispers through the crowd. Familiar faces paused their conversations. Even the band lost rhythm for a moment. Maman Duca, seated on her raised dais, observed in silence, lips pressed in a hard line. Inside the mansion, the decorations were pure gold and ivory. Chandeliers twinkled, high-life music filled the air, and guests swirled around in glittering asoebi. Toke was radiant, but tension hung in the air. Chief Afeni stood near the bar, sweat collecting at his temple. Damn it, he muttered to Obina. She's already trending, Obina said, scrolling through Twitter. #Queen of Lagos has 12K tweets. Then came the moment. The music paused. A slight ripple moved through the crowd. The MC cleared his throat, preparing to introduce a new arrival. Chief Afeni froze. Toke turned to Kimi. Who's coming now? Kimi looked toward the door, and then they saw her. The doors opened, and silence fell. Not forced, not fake. It was like Lagos collectively held its breath. Amaka entered. Her gown was a deep matte gold velvet with embroidery so fine it looked like calligraphy. It hugged her body with grace, not greed, but it was a Gele that stole the moment. It wrapped around her head like a crown sculpted by the ancestors, tall, balanced, regal. Not too flashy, Not loud, but powerful. She walked in with no entourage, no camera, no hashtag, just presence. She walked like time. Maman Duca stood. Ah, my daughter, she called, arms open, heads turned, mouths dropped, phones trembled in palms. Even the band forgot to play. Obina leaned toward Chief Afeni and whispered, I've seen lions walk into Savannah with less power. Toke blinked. Her hands were suddenly sweaty. For a moment, it felt like her sequins dulled. Amaka reached Maman Duca and greeted her with a soft embrace. Toke stepped forward, trying to reclaim the floor. Madam Amaka, she said, voice high, sweet. Welcome. Amaka turned slowly, her expression serene. Thank you, she replied. Toke smiled wider. You look lovely. Amaka held her gaze for a moment and replied, You too. I see you put on a performance. The words landed like a slap dress in silk. Obina choked on his drink. Kimi whispered behind her phone, We're losing momentum. The crowd buzzed again, but this time around Amaka. Her jewel glittered like it had been kissed by God. Her dress flowed like royalty. She walked to a seat in silence, yet every pair of eyes followed. And just like that, Toke disappeared. The only thing louder than the silence was the absence of noise. No drums, no talking, just a quiet gasp that swept through the ballroom like Harmattan wind. Amaka walked through the grand hall of Maman Duca's mansion with the grace of a monarch. Every head turned, every whisper died on the tongue. Even the DJ, who had queued up a Davido set for Toke's grand entrance earlier, paused. His hand hovered over the controller, frozen in place. Toke stood rooted near the champagne fountain, blinking furiously. Kimi tugged her elbow. Do something. Toke whispered, Why is she glowing like that? Her gold crystals, previously dazzling, now seemed overexposed, like a girl trying too hard. Amaka made no scene. She offered warm smiles, shook hands softly, and greeted guests in a tone so calm it demanded reverence. Then, without drama, without announcement, she took her seat at the center table, the one Toke had mentally reserved for herself all week. Maman Duca approached the MIC. Lagos, please help me welcome the true heart of grace, the original Mrs. Afeni, Amaka, my daughter. Applause. Applause that tasted like thunder. Toke forced a smile. She rehearsed this. She knew what she was doing. Obina leaned over to Chief Afeni at the side. This is not war. This is burial with perfume. Bloggers, influencers, and aunties with iPhones swarmed near the center. Suddenly, every phone lens pointed in Amaka's direction. The paparazzi effect Toke had basked in for 10 minutes was now being devoured, photo by photo, reel by reel. Even Belenija weddings posted on their story. Elegance never shouts. Amaka Afeni has arrived. Hashoemba royalty. Toke clutched a mimosa so tightly the glass cracked slightly. Kimi tried to comfort her. We can still reclaim the night. Maybe pose by the cake stand, or flirt with Chief publicly. Toke glared. This is not a movie. That woman she's hijacking the script. A random auntie near the table said loudly, but not loudly enough to be caught. Honestly, the real wife's class is unmatched. That other one, too much glitter, not enough substance. Toke's stomach twisted. She stormed toward the dance floor, swaying her hips deliberately. The DJ, sensing the energy shift, played a remix of Tiwa Savage Somebody's Son. It didn't work. The room had recentered its gravity, and the sun now orbited Amaka. It was just a matter of time before they met at close range. Toke approached Amaka's table with a glass of wine in one hand and rehearsed charm in her voice. Madam Amaka, she purred, you really surprised us tonight. So beautiful, so radiant. Amaka smiled gently. Thank you. I believe elegance is best expressed in silence. Kimi, standing behind Toke, winced. Toke leaned forward just slightly, voice lowering. You know, everyone's watching. It would be good for the press if we shared a photo. Show the world there's no bad blood. Amaka took a long sip of her Zobo cocktail and set the glass down slowly. Then she smiled again, warmer this time, but still distant. If there were no blood, the world wouldn't be watching at all. Boom! Even the nearby security man blinked. Toke chuckled awkwardly. You really do know how to speak in parables, Ma. Amaka stood suddenly, towering over her. She leaned in. Not parables, just facts wrapped in gold lace. Then she walked away, gracefully. Bloggers caught the tail end of the moment, captioning it with phrases like, "When queens move, chess pieces scatter." The real madam just served Michelin star shade. Kimi hissed, "We're bleeding clout, Toke, bleeding it fast." The smile cracked at exactly 9:17 p.m. Toke, seated in a corner beside an influencer she barely liked, checked her phone again. A marker was trending on Twitter. Trending. Hashtags like #Gele and Grace, #The Real Queen, #Wife Goals. Videos of her entering the hall had been remixed with regal music. One even layered in the Lion King theme. The comments were brutal. This is how you step into a room. Not shouting, not half naked, just power. Toke tried. But this is different. The wife's presence is louder than any influencer's scream. Toke's hand trembled as she held her drink. She had prepared months for this night, paid stylists in dollars, bought the dress from Paris, hired a PR team to push the narrative of the new queen. And in 10 silent minutes, Amaka had dismantled it all. Kimi tapped her phone and whispered, "Chief just left your table. He's sitting beside his wife now." Toke turned her head slowly. It was true. Chief Afeni, caught between shame and a camera flash, now sat beside Amaka, gently refilling her glass. The crowd noticed. The internet noticed. And Toke? She smiled, but only her lips moved. Inside, something had cracked that eye in the far corner of the hall, Maman Duca's legendary gossip circle huddled like Parliament in Ankara and lace. "Mama K," one woman whispered. "Did you see how Toke walked in like she owned the estate?" "I saw," Mama K replied. But owning and being invited are two different things. Amaka didn't even say mucho, another said. She just arrived, and silence happened. One woman in red lace chuckled. "Reminds me of 96 when Chief Ojukwu's second wife tried to upstage Bianca. You remember what happened at the Abuja Gala?" They all nodded. The stories were flowing now, faster than champagne. "How can someone have all the lights and still be invisible?" someone asked. "Because light doesn't make you visible. Respect does," Mama K replied, sipping her Chapman slowly. At that exact moment, a loud voice echoed near the dance floor. "Clear the way. Let the real madam pass." Everyone turned. It was Chief Security Detail, walking Amaka and Chief Afeni toward the dance area. The crowd parted. Slowly, quietly, the lights shifted. The band switched from Fuji to a soft highlife tune. Toke stood frozen as the crowd embraced the royal couple. Maman Duca, still seated like a godmother, leaned toward her assistant and whispered, "Lagos has decided." Chief Afeni had never felt this exposed. As Amaka danced softly to Ada Ada by Flavor, surrounded by quiet admiration, he stood beside her like a man freshly rebaptized. She didn't look at him. She didn't need to. Toke, from across the hall, glared. He could feel her stare pierce the Agbada on his back like arrows tipped with guilt. Obinna pulled him aside. "Guy, breathe." "She's not saying anything," Chief muttered. "Exactly," Obinna said. "That's why Lagos is shaking." "Is she planning something?" Obinna smiled grimly. "She doesn't need to. She already won." Across the hall, Toke was being ignored by everyone. Bloggers, influencers, and even the same stylists who once begged her to tag them. The attention was now on the wife, and the silence was heavy. Maman Duca, the matriarch of the Lagos elite, took the microphone just after dinner. The band paused. Conversations died down. Anticipation filled the air. She was dressed in head-to-toe silver lace, her massive coral beads clinking softly as she walked to the stage. "My children," she began, "tonight I have seen things." The whole chuckled politely. Every year, we gather to celebrate Lagos excellence, beauty, class. But tonight, something deeper happened. A reminder. She turned slowly, her voice ringing clear. That royalty is not in outfits, not in noise, not in filtered videos. but in presence. Guests looked around. Toke froze mid-sip. Maman Duca's eyes landed briefly, barely, on Toke. Then she smiled. True queens do not need to trend. Their presence is a trend. Thunderous applause. Amaka sat still, nodding once, her face calm but unreadable. Toke stared into her wine glass as if the liquid inside might swallow her. Kimi whispered, Mama just declared war with proverbs. Toke didn't answer. She was slowly becoming invisible. As a whole buzz after Maman Duca's MIC drop, an unplanned moment occurred, one that no one could have scripted. Toke, refusing to go quietly, walked up to Amaka in front of several key guests, bloggers, fashion influencers, even a senator's wife. She wore a strained smile, confidence now like paper in the rain. I guess congratulations are in order, Toke said. You've won Lagos tonight. Amaka looked up. Lagos was never a prize, my dear. Toke blinked. Then what is? Amaka paused. Her voice low, her words heavy. Dignity. The kind that doesn't need to scream or seduce to be seen. The room went still. Even the waiter carrying small chops paused mid-tray. Toke forced a smile. You think you're better than me? No, Amaka said. I know I'm quieter. And somehow you still heard me. The bloggers caught it. Every word. By the time Amaka turned away, Toke's heart was thudding so loud she thought others could hear it. The party ended in waves of praise, admiration, and social media fireworks. Guests posted selfies with Amaka, bloggers uploaded Gele breakdowns, and Twitter was a flood of memes. When the wife doesn't raise her voice, but Lagos still listens. Toke came to slay, but Amaka came to stay. Gele over glamour is a new aesthetic. Toke sat in the back of a G-Wagon, removed her earrings in silence, and stared at her phone. Instagram, 14,000 likes. But not one comment felt like victory. She opened her notes app and typed, They loved my sparkle, until she walked in with silence. Maybe being loud was never the crown. Then, she posted it to her IG story with a black screen. Kimi watched from the front seat. Are we going home? No, Toke said. Drive to the mainland. I need to disappear for a bit. The next morning, Amaka sat on her veranda with a cup of tea. She was dressed in a simple wrapper and tee, her Gele long removed, but her spirit still wore the crown. Chief Afeni approached her slowly. You didn't say much last night, he said quietly. Amaka looked at him. I didn't need to. I'm sorry, he began. She held up a hand. I'm not asking for apologies. I'm asking for space. Reflection. Silence. He lowered his head. Do you hate me? He asked. Amaka looked out at the horizon. Calm. I don't have space in my heart for hate. Just boundaries. He nodded slowly. Then, she smiled. I hope Lagos enjoyed the show, but I didn't come to perform. He looked at her, really looked, and for the first time in years, he saw her again. Amaka turned back to her tea, because not all queens rule. Some simply exist, and the world adjusts.